Hello, hi everybody. Welcome. I was going to say, welcome to Sacred Warrior Space. No, no, no. This is a sacred space, but this is a special broadcast with Bev Morrison, astrologer Bev Morrison, and close friend and sister of mine. Bev, thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, thanks, Linda, for having me on.
Yes, listen, I'm going to put it right out there in the beginning. There's some buffering issues. There's some CMEs that are expected to impact Earth tonight, and there's connection issues all over the place. So if we are buffering, just hang in there. We'll make sure we get the message out to you another. So, Bev, now you've been doing astrology for, I think you've been a student and a mentor and a guidance, and now you're a teacher for over 6.5 years, right?
Yes, yes. It's been a little bit. It's gone kind of
Okay.
fast, so yeah, I have to stop and think.
Well, you've been teaching me a lot. And like I've been telling people, when you come in, this is like, you're the expert here because there's things that I just don't know about. But before you get started, I wanted to just give a quick call out to my patrons. I wanted to say thank you, everybody who's been a patron, who supported me along the way. Whether you were there for 1 month with a backstage pass or you were an angel getting your reading every month and anywhere in between, I just want to thank everybody. They've all been notified now that my last month on Patreon is going to be next month in March. So that's coming to an end. And I'm excited about it too, because it frees up a lot of possibilities. And there's a lot of interesting projects and things that I've been working on. And I will talk a little bit more about that in our break. But Bev, I want to turn this over to you because I know that there's a lot going on. And I know you've been deep down the rabbit holes of what's happening. Tell us what is going on.
Well, we're just getting ready to go into Pisces season, and that's the 18th. We go into that. So this is kind of like a time of the year, in Capricorn season, you kind of wrap up and do your New Year's resolutions, um, and that's the calendar year. Now Pisces is the last month here where we're going through the final sign of the zodiac. So it's completions. It's a pretty big deal, getting ready for the new astrological calendar year starting in Aries. And so we're in the last sign of the zodiac. It is a feminine energy. It's also a time to return to yourself and reflect. It's about trusting spirit and intuition. It's not illogical. It's tapping into spirit and just finding that quiet place to do so and listening. Um, it's really it has a lot to teach us. It also gives us a time to review, and the things that we've worked through and healed for the year. Um, and it's just tapping in and totally giving that trust, because if you try to look at it through a logical mind, it's not going to work. The linear mind. When you're dealing with Pisces, it's about the spiritual realms. It's about different realms. It's also retreating within. So we kind of come back to ourselves after being out there in the world for the whole cycle around the zodiac, and we come back in and just kind of reflect. It's being seeing yourself in the whole, but then seeing the whole humanity and knowing that we're one with everything. Everything is connected. It also deals with us and our connection to source and our higher self. It's about unconditional love for yourself and others. Because a lot of times, we get caught up in everything in the outside world that we don't take time for the self care or to, just take
Mm.
time for the things we need to do to stay centered and focused. And when you start looking back at some of the lessons you've learned, just in the last year, let alone the last couple of years, but just with this last yearly cycle, I'm hearing something strange there, Linda. You still with me?
I know. It's strange. It's like somebody's. Yeah, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't talking. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good. Sorry about that.
That's
No,
all
I'm
right.
trying
We're
to
going to
get your
fight.
chart on here too, Bev, and it's like somebody's taken over my computer. Yes, we'll keep
Hey,
going.
my printer was making noises that I've never heard. It sounded like it was trying to sing a song earlier. So yeah. Um, all right, let me get back to where I was at. So it's also about unconditional love, like I said, for yourself and others, and it brings out our creative side, our imagination. It brings in messages from spirit. So we're starting out here. on the 18th, just being in Pisces season and working through that. And then that's the 18th. And then on the 20th, we have this Pisces new moon that you were talking about the chart for, that you were trying to put up and it wouldn't let you.
Yes.
But
exactly.
yeah, the must be something about that. But
yeah.
The big deal about this is, okay, you're going to have the sun and moon conjunct at 1 degree of Pisces. And I wish we could show the chart right now, because
I know I'll try again, but it keeps flipping to the next picture like somebody's taking over, and they won't let me scroll back to it. It's weird. It's so weird.
That is strange that we've never had nothing like that happen. Well, what I was going to explain is that we have,
Keep
okay, so you
have
have, what happened?
You're there.
Okay, all right.
Can you see it?
The chart is up. That's fantastic. If you look up there in Pisces, you see where the sun and moon is at, and they're at 1 degree. And you see Saturn is in 28 degrees of Aquarius there. So it's finishing up its time in Saturn, or in Pisces. So yeah, this is throwing me all off, Linda. I got rattled there.
Well, Bev, I can't touch it because every time my cursor goes on, it makes it leave. So I can't point for you either. Sorry about that.
Hey, that's all right. All right, let's back up and try this again. What makes this interesting is this new moon is conjunct Saturn out of sign. So Saturn is in Aquarius, but it's still within a 3 degree orb of this new moon. So the sun and moon are 1 degree. Saturn's only 3 degrees away. So Saturn has a big influence in this new moon. And the interesting part about this is, okay, you've got the new moon starting here. This is a beginning point. So it's taking these new ideas and stuff and things that you've learned while you've healed through the year and bringing them forward. And what's really cool about this is, okay, Saturn is going to move into Pisces. And I think that is on the, look at my dates real quick. On the 8th, okay, Saturn will move into Pisces. And Saturn will go to that 1 degrees where that sun and moon is at 3 times. So it will go once and hit that 1 degree. It'll pass it. It'll go into retrograde, hit that 1 degree again, go back into Aquarius, and then it will come forward for the 3rd time. So there's a major process here that's underway. And it all has to do with the
wow.
the new things that are coming in. All about the new beginnings as we're completing this cycle of the astrological year.
That's crazy. And is that Pisces is the last sign? So when it starts the new season, that's considered Aries season, right?
Yeah, when Aries season and the new moon in the Aries will start the actual equinox, and that's when the new astrological year begins.
Yep. It always felt like Easter, the resurrection, the birth, everything coming up that's been dormant for the winter. It always felt like that was been the beginning of the year, not January 1st, you know?
Right. You got all these calendars going on, then you have cycles within cycles. So, it's cool to step back and look at the different things. Like I said, with Capricorn season, New Year's resolutions, because it's a calendar year. Then you go into the astrological year. And then you and I have been down other rabbit holes with other things too with the calendar. So it's the galactic Ken numbers and stuff like that. So there's been a lot to it.
Yeah, and you're always learning something new. So and like with this astrology, it never stops. It's the same thing with the Zolkeen. It's the measurement of light, so you can't go wrong with these 4th dimensional or higher type calendars, and astrology it includes all space and time and all of that. So it's wonderful. Yeah,
it is.
Always learning something, Bev.
And then when you throw the numerology in there, you start looking at the Sabian symbols, which are a small sentence for each degree of the zodiac. So I find that rather interesting too. Matter of fact, I wanted to write that down about what that 1 degree of Pisces was in the Sabian symbols. And I know it's over here in another stack of papers. I'll get to that when we do a break.
Okay.
But yes, so we have this Pisces new moon conjunct Saturn. And the interesting thing here too is when you look at the chart as a whole, you look and you see that Pluto is up there at 29 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto's a big deal. You know, we had the USA's Pluto return at 28
Right.
degrees. So now it's come past that point and it's getting ready to go into Aquarius. And that's a big deal. When Pluto, it takes Pluto 280 years to do the cycle. So Pluto sits somewhere a long time, and the longer a planet sits like that, and the slower moving it is, it has more of an impact on us energetically. So Pluto moving is the biggest deal in this chart that we're going to see right after this this new moon.
If I'm not mistaken, Bev, didn't you start doing the astrology forecasts when Pluto was returning? That was sort of one of the big deals I know last year, when you came on the channel to talk about Pluto's return to the United States, and that was all beginning last year, right?
Yes. We started talking about that last year. Yeah, wow, time has flown, hasn't it?
It has, but it takes a long time for some of these transitions too, to walk from one house to another, or something like when there's a retrograde, like you were saying, it's got to go back and forth, and it's definitely going to have a lot of an impact for sure. I mean,
right,
major upheavals happening if you've been hiding under a rock, right? Which we know you guys haven't.
Well, the interesting thing about this too is with that Pluto being at that last degree, they call that the critical degree because you're wrapping up everything from that. So it's like Pluto's going to move ahead a little bit into Aquarius, and that's in March. It'll give us a little bit of a preview of what's to come. And then you have Saturn moving ahead into Pisces, and those happen within days of each other.
Wow.
Let's see.
That's intense.
Saturn's on the 8th. Saturn's on the 8th, and Pluto is on the 23rd. So yeah, wrapping up those last degrees, there's going to be so much, well, as it is now, you see so many things coming out, news coming through. Look at all the crazy things happening with the CMEs, the flares, the Schumann resonance. I mean, it's like all this coming together to wrap up these final degrees and say, okay, now have you finally learned? And then we're going to have Pluto back up into Capricorn again. And it's not going to stay in Aquarius the whole year, but it goes back and forth a couple different times. And I'll go into that at a later date as far as the dates and stuff, but we've got some time for that. But yeah, just it comes and it says, all right, are you sure you're done with that? Are you sure you learned that lesson? We're going to back up and see. So when you look at a degree point like that, especially the last, the 29 degrees, those are always critical. And when you go at 1 degree of something, that's a total new beginning. You still have 30 degrees in that particular sign to get through. So it's start of something totally new. And with Pluto being involved like that and Saturn both, I find that really interesting. And also you have Venus at 29 degrees there of Pisces. So we've got the sun, we've got the moon, we've got Neptune, and we've got Venus all in Pisces.
Wow.
So we got a lot of Pisces energy right now. And that's a lot of where Pisces can feel like, oh, I just need to take a break. And it's good about procrastination. And that's one of my greatest things, I hate to say. But I think sometimes I work better under pressure. I do my best work
with water too.
Procrastinating. Do what?
Yeah. That's working good. Pressure's a good skill set. Also, we had water coming in from upstairs like several different times, even after it was fixed. We got rained on again. So like there's a lot of water energy around. You're not kidding. It's all over the place. And symbolism, at least we're not being flooded, but it's everywhere. You just have to like see it.
And you're right. There's all the water energy. And that's going to make this a little more emotional too. So that's one thing to remember. It's going to be an emotional time. When you have Pluto sitting back there at 29 degrees of Capricorn, wrapping that up, you can see some real outbursts. People may not mean to. So it's the time to be mindful and of your words and kind of just have compassion for others and what they're going through, because this stuff is coming up and out one way or another, whether you're working through it and being intentional, which is a way that you handle it, but if there's some things that you're not ready to deal with, I feel this is going to be bringing up a lot of fears too. We're in that last degree there with Pluto. Pluto is the transformer. What fears have we not conquered through Pluto being in Capricorn? And I think a lot of people may be facing a lot of fears right now because Pluto transforms. It's like the phoenix, you know, takes you down to the ashes and builds you back up, and the phoenix rises again. So it's the same principle with that too. And I think we're going to see a lot of things with that Pluto and Capricorn. That's the last of the institutions. It's the last of the control. When what was I looking at here? Yeah, when we did the Pluto return there, that was the beginning of it. So now we're going to go ahead and see what Pluto's going to do in Aquarius a little bit. I think we're going to have some really interesting things there. And with this new moon too, being where it's at, and you have Neptune involved, I think it's going to bring in a lot of messages. It's going to bring in possibly new parts of yourself that you haven't met yet. Just a lot of things that don't try to rationally think it through. Just sit back and go with it. Take that time for meditation. Take that time for yourself. It's very important right now with all this Pisces energy for sure.
Yeah. Jade was also saying in the comments, emotions have been all over the place for the last 2 weeks. Unfinished business. Yeah, emotions for sure. And you know what you were saying?
Yeah.
It just really struck me, Bev, that it was at the last degrees of this. It's like in Pisces is at the end of the cycle. So there's so many cycles within cycles ending that I'll have to reiterate again how mind blown I am. How many cycles within cycles are actually ending during this winter, heading into the summer, heading into the spring equinox.
Right. Because when you look at how slow some planets move, how fast others. So for them to line up in these different things, I mean, it's, to me, Source definitely has the divine timing in this, because how else could you explain it? I mean, you know, for all these things to line up at this same time. And at the end of Pisces, you're looking at the end of the whole zodiac. And then at the end of Capricorn up there with Pluto, Pluto's been in there for, I don't know what year it went back to, but it's been in there forever. Pluto is like a generational planet. You'll have a whole generation of people born with Pluto in the same sign. So it's been there a while. It moves slow, and when it moves, it's big changes. And, you know, we've been feeling them at the end degrees of Capricorn, but wait till we get into Aquarius. I think we're going to see some good and new things coming on board. Yes. And with those new beginnings in Pisces and being the spirituality, people coming together, I think we're going to meet even more people that were meant to meet. Tribes get together. I think there's going to be a lot of that coming through too.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Jade's also, her birthday is in March. Happy birthday early, Jade. And
happy
she said
birthday.
Pisces deserves a break, and she also has a vacation planned. Well, good for you. That's awesome.
Good time to take a break for sure.
Oh, very, very good. Is that a segue too?
Yes.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. I hadn't. There's one other thing I wanted to cover, Linda, before we got to the break.
Go right ahead.
That's okay. Talking about this with the new moon and where Saturn's going to hit that point again 3 times. One of them is going to be the 20th of March. Then we have it coming back, Saturn coming back to that place on October 3rd and December 5th. So it's kind of like the story and the chapters unfolding. You can't miss it. It's going to be loud enough that you can't miss the messages. And it's going to be there 3 different times. So you can say, okay, I think I dug all this up, got rid of it, healed it. Wait a minute. Does that go a little bit deeper? So it's going to be like my favorite word, the process, right? It's going to be a process of Saturn going through there at that 1 degree of Pisces. But I think it's going to give us a lot of look into things that have been hidden. Pisces also deals with the media, deals with things in writing, new information. So I think a lot of things can't stay hidden. You know, it's kind of like, it's foggy. The Neptune is kind of like, I call it the fog machine to an extent. And then you just have all that water and you're just floating along, and it can be easy to be lied to, but it's not going to be tolerated, I don't think, anymore. I think we're going to see a lot more truth come out. I feel like a broken record saying that because so much has come out in the last year or so, but with the astrology that's in here now, I really believe we're going to see some good things ahead for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, it seems like the astrology just supports it, and so does the tarot and every other
Yes.
divination tool that people are using to, use discernment with. So whatever you're connected to, whether it's a financial world or if you got your hand on the beat for, certain things, whether it's disclosure and UFO community or spiritual communities, wherever it is, everybody's feeling, the same changes and realizing this is it. This is the spring. So we don't know
I'm
what the
glad.
timelines are and we can't pretend we know, but astrology does help point to seasonal changes and things that you can look at those signs. You can look at the Sabian symbols, you can look at gematria, you can look at the sacred numerology of everything. The the key part is though, that's all the stuff on the outside you're looking at. What about your internal connections? If we're looking
Yes.
on the outside for all the answers and we don't go in and say, does this make sense? Is this truth? Does this resonate inside of me as truth and I feel it all over my body? My biofeedback machine, is this telling me this is really it? Because, only you can be prepared. And when you were talking about fears coming up, I really was, it was hitting. There was a lot of resonance with people that are going through a fearful time right now, but it all boils down to a fear of death, fear of dying, because that's all there is love and fear. It's birth and death, and that's like summing it up simplicity wise. But if you're afraid of dying, you're afraid of the unknown. You have what Jade was saying earlier with the unfinished business. There's things that we want to be sure that we're ready for the next phase. And like you were talking about with the astrology, how that's completely supportive of people that want to downsize or get rid of things or, just get yourself prepared for fill in the blank.
Yes.
Right?
And Linda, we've got the Black Moon in Leo right now, which is fear of change too. So how fitting is that? And then
Oh,
you spoke
wow.
about then you spoke too about the finances and stuff. Well, there's Venus at the last degree of the zodiac, and it's about the things we love, and that's things we love in ourselves, things we love in others, finances, what we value, what we do with our energy. It's a big time to look at what am I doing with these things. Do I still want to go forward with where I was? You can sit back and think, oh, this sounds like a really good idea, and this is where I want to be. And you think that's the way your life is meant to be, and spirit comes in and turns it upside down, and you go, wait a minute, that stuff just doesn't even matter to me anymore. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are going to be getting these revelations with these last degree points, with Venus at 29 of the final degree of the zodiac. I think we're going to see really what matters to us. It's also going to affect finances too, so that could be an interesting time for
Yeah.
those watching with things like that. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's totally looking at what you love. Can you bring those people, those situations forward? And there's a lot of karmic endings too. That
Yes.
29 degrees of Pisces there with Venus, there's a lot of karmic wrap ups. And there are
Mm.
people that, you may have served the karmic lessons with, and now it's time to go on. You may have thought they'd always be in your life, but you know what? It just doesn't have that draw anymore. The energy and the vibration just isn't there. And
Yeah.
that's with anything, you know.
I couldn't have said that better myself, because you might even have people in your family that are stepping away, or relationships, like you said, that you never thought you'd go through life without certain things. But if the karmic ends and there's still a connection at some point, there's still an unconditional love. Love knows no boundaries. So even if the karmic
Yes.
relationship ends, there's still unconditional love. So it's going to high rise and up level what a real true relationship based on unconditional love can be in the spiritual planes, and we're supposed to be manifesting that. So imagine, if you will, all of the reunions that'll happen after all of these karmic things and everybody's pissed at everybody. But imagine when the veils go up and everybody sees the roles that everybody was playing, and
Yes.
truth is
Yes.
really there. Once that happens, can you imagine the reunions after that?
Oh
Like,
man, just amazing just thinking about it. I can't even imagine.
yeah.
And
Well,
Pisces is about going higher, it's taking that higher road. Have that compassion, because you know what? Somebody is just where they're at. There's no right, there's no wrong. They're where they're at spiritually. And just because, you don't see it that way anymore, you did at one time. We've all been at different places and we go, wow, I can't believe I thought that way, or wow, I've learned so much. It's hard in the moment to stay out of that judgment. But that's what Pisces is asking of us too, as we tie up these karmic things with Pluto and with Venus there in Pisces. So yeah, very
wow.
important to have
It is.
compassion.
what about let me see. What about break time? We got a time for a quick break?
Yeah.
Where are we at on the yeah? All right.
I've kind of skipped
So
around a little bit, but we're all right. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I just wanted to take a quick break time. Just, give you a chance to get together, but that's not really why. I want to thank everybody for being here and thank all my patrons. If you weren't here in the beginning of the broadcast, I'm ending my Patreon platform profile thing, and the last month will be in March. So thank you everybody who's ever supported me in that on that platform. If you want to make a donation for my work, you can always go to the link in the description box. Is the only link I use. It's not Linda Light, and you will not get the money back if you donate there. So make sure you use the links that I provide either in the description box or over on my website. It's Teach Peace Designs. And also, so I did start a new campaign, and it's with my designs that I do, energy signature, energy healing in the flower of life. So I have these totes that are available for an energy exchange over on my website. It's under the original store link. So you can click a link under there that's for the tote bags, and that's under Linda Light. Just scroll down and you'll find it there somewhere. Yeah, it's under the original store link. So just scroll down under Linda Light, you'll find it. Those links are in the description box too. And it's free shipping February. So these are really good bags too. Just I have the blue one and the purple one. There's a picture of me with the purple one over on the site, but they're really sturdy.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, they're very big. This one just rolls up. This one I actually have a bunch of stuff in, but this is my favorite one. It's purple.
Purple. I love that. Linda is so creative too.
Purple and blue. Thank you. Yeah, so they're energy infused items is what the name of that page was. And I'm going to be having more, but for right now, there's just 6 to choose from. And for your donation and exchange, you'll get a free bag. So there's that. Thank you for listening. Also, Sacred Warrior Space podcast cycle 3 is now officially released tonight over my Rumble channel. Just the first episode. It's going to be over the next 9 weeks. I'm going to release a podcast every Friday night. And cycle 3 is known as Ascension Maps. And Ascension Maps is also a project I've been working on. Ascension Maps is going to have a fully immersive or interactive experience for you meeting your soul. It's a soul journey. And I'm pulling information from a lot of my works, and I'm creating new content so that it'll infuse with Sacred Warrior Space podcast season 3. So they're all going together. That's going to be launching in the next couple of weeks, the full project. But for right now, if you're not subscribed over on Rumble and you want to listen to Sacred Warrior Space podcast, you can catch it over there as it drops every week on Fridays. So I think that's it. That's good. Bev, thank you for letting me take that little break here, do a little housekeeping, get my info out. I wanted to put your website up too while we're here and just make sure that there we go. I think that's right. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Bev's newsletter yet, go on over there, sign up so that when she does launch her course, that you will be the first to know about it or get any special pricing or deals that she might be offering for her first batch. So
Yes.
Make sure you're signed up for her newsletter. Yes. All right. So I know you said you were jumping around a little bit, but I know you didn't cover all of that because I know that there was more in there.
No, I didn't. But, Linda, it's, you're talking about going ahead and doing new projects and things like that. This is the time for it too. I mean, it's all coming, taking things and turning it into different form. So you're using all the knowledge that you've gained. You're just doing something a little different with it. And the fact that you're doing, 2 or 3 different things, I find amazing. Where you find the energy, I don't know. But yeah, you're always busy.
It's weird how it all came together. And like last year I did the symposium for all benevolent races and stuff. When I do little projects like this, it's like, they're not little, and spirit just tells me, and it's like, I kind of have to do it. It's not that
Yes.
I have to, no one's holding a gun to my head, but if I don't go with the flow, I feel like I'm standing with a river raging coming through me, and I'm just standing there trying to hold on and fight it. And there's no point of fighting it. When it needs to come out, it comes out. So yeah. And yeah, the energy will come in waves too. And I just work with it. But it's good to know the astrology supports it too. Thanks, Bev.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. I think that's, as we're getting ready to go into, the age of Aquarius, and we've had the different experiences with Saturn going through Aquarius. I think that was a lot of things. Okay, when Saturn first went into Aquarius, that was March of 2020. Does anybody remember what happened then? I'm sure we all do. But look at what that
Oh,
did. But look at what that did. It showed people that they didn't have to go do the 9 to 5 anymore. Made people realize, hey, there are new ways of doing this. Different groups
yes.
came up. People got together that hadn't got together before. I mean, so many things came together with that Saturn going through Aquarius. And now going into Pisces, I think that's going to take those things and give them more on the spiritual path. And it's going to be just a blessing to take those things forward. Because Saturn is a hard taskmaster and he gets a bad rap. But Saturn makes sure the job is done right. He wants you to be responsible about it, act like an adult, handle it with maturity, and that means your energy and everything. But he will reward you for a good job done. And I think we're going to see some of those rewards too through this. I really do.
Do you know, did I ever tell you that Diane Stein was my Reiki master teacher? And she's a very famous author, and she's taught a lot of students. And she's the first one to publish the symbols and whatnot. I guess she was considered non-traditional and, kind of went against the system by publishing the symbols for Reiki. She just felt like it should be available for everybody. And I completely agree with her, but no doubt that's why we aligned. But we were down there doing a women's workshop on one of the essential energy balancing courses that I took under her. And in this workshop, we're giving her ideas or coming up with things that were just coming through. And one of the ideas was for good karma to be restored instead of canceling all the bad karma. How about restoring some of the good karma? Like, if it's like a bank account, and you're storing in good karma, like I want to make a withdrawal on some of my good karma now. Come on. We don't need to wait till the next lifetime. Like, come on. So she thanked me for giving her that idea and credited me in the book, in one of her books. I don't know which one it was, Healing the Goddess, one of those. And I just was humbled by that because it seemed to me something that just made sense. That, of course, why wouldn't she have thought of that before? That's what's going through my mind. Is like, wait, you guys never thought of returning the good karma? Come on now, like all this work. And it was just such a cool sister moment, a sisterhood of exchange. And it just was such a proud moment of honor to be able to, work with women that are getting the word out to many, many, many people. She taught about the lords of karma and all kinds of things. I got to get in touch with her. I got to see if she's still around. She was a mentor and a teacher and a good friend.
And that's what's really cool about coming together with people, because she's been doing that. You just had that perspective, that thought came to you.
Yeah.
And that's how I think as we come together as tribe and everything, somebody will say something to you and it's something that's like, wow, that's really cool. It's just everybody's different perspective. I mean, we're all made up of different frequencies and we all have a different resonance, and one of us will see something somebody else didn't. And it's all about sharing and growing and bringing things together like that. And I think
that's it right there. Sharing it. Sorry to cut you off, but yes, that's what it is when spirit comes through and wants to speak to you. Like when you said, where do you get the energy? It's spirit energy. It's like I'm on fire. I'll start sweating or I'll feel the kundalini going when I'm working. And sometimes I can't sit still because it comes in. It's very powerful, but it's about sharing. So like when I was telling you about ascension maps earlier during the break and stuff, like it's all free. There's no charge for it. It's not a course, you guys. It's not a hook or a pull or a shtick or anything like that. It's all free. It's just meant for people to be able to refer someone else, and I do put a little thing in there saying that there's 2 courses created. So yes, I'll get it back if somebody donates to get that course. But I put that in there. I advertise it, and from the vault, some of my stuff that's older teachings, all of this stuff. It's like, I want to gift that to humanity. I want to make sure that all my ducks are in order so that I can be proud of the work that I did. And it's not just all scatterbrained, because if you look at my notebooks, man, you wouldn't know. It really made me think about those journals that I lost. And I remembered my poetry journal was with it too. So that's the 1, 2, 3 punch, and I'm like, oh my God. Well, I guess whoever's reading it, they better have a good sense of humor because the brain was all over the place when I write notes. Yeah.
I'm laughing because you saw all my notebooks and all the scribblings everywhere. Yeah, I'm the same way. I just got to grab it and write it down. So, but that's what it's about. We're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to share. And to me, again, that's why I love astrology. I look at the things that I went through and I see how astrology has empowered me, and it just makes me excited and want to share it. Because
Yeah.
Some of the crap I went through, if somebody would have, well, I probably wouldn't have listened anyway, but had somebody told me just maybe, it would have saved me some grief, and got started on the past. I look at some of the younger people getting into this, telling my age by saying younger, but somebody in their 20s and 30s, to me, it's amazing where they're at spiritually. Because at that point in my life, that was the last thing I was thinking about. It
Yeah.
just, we all get to the place we need to be at the right time. It's all in divine timing. I'm a firm believer of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it's about. As you learn, you pass it along. And I don't know, as you can tell, I get excited a little bit. But
You do great. I love when you do that and you go on a roll and it's like your spirit's just, I feel like I see this teenage girl driving this car, this Mustang or some convertible, and or maybe a Harley, I don't know, a Sportster, brum brum, but just like skidding in, like fishtailing into a parking spot and being like, "Yeehaw, I made it!"
that's pretty much me. Yeah, yeah. It just, it gets me excited though, because I think all the good things that can be done, and if people empower themselves, and then you share. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
and looking at this chart too, this is what got my attention here. Okay, we've got Jupiter at 9 degrees of Aries, and you've got Chiron with just within a couple of degrees. Now, if you remember, Chiron's been in Aries for quite a while. For those of you who went through the Chiron return, it spends longer time in Chiron than some of the other signs. But we've healed those things with that Chiron retrograde. And now Jupiter is coming up behind. And I think when Jupiter joins up with Chiron, I can get an exact date on that later, but it's going to be within the next 2 to 3 weeks, the same as all this other stuff happening. So when Jupiter lines up with Chiron, it's going to bring about those gifts too. It's going to take that healed vision forward, and it's going to be able to reach out to more people. And you're looking in Aries, so it's the beginning of the zodiac, and it's about ourselves. So we've healed ourselves now. Jupiter says, what can you take that healed self? Pisces is saying, look at the spiritual things that you've gone through, the things that you've closed out. Now let's take it forward. I mean, it's like a map that's just beautifully laid out to me.
I love when that happens. It is like a template, like a map, like you said. I
Yes.
mean, and it's cool how you can read that too. You just look at it and you just see things. And 2 weeks from now, you might read it and go, aha, something else. But that's because another planet moved to open that part of your brain up. Just like you have cellular memories when you're making reconnections with your soul.
Yes.
You
Yes.
just remember things that you forgot you already knew. And then
Yeah,
once that starts opening, yeah.
it comes to you when you need it. It seems like a lot of times, because I can pick up, well, you see me with charts. I can pick up a chart 2 or 3 times, and every time I pick it up, I see something new. It's whatever happened to catch my attention at that point, or what maybe somebody needed to hear. So that's why I like doing the readings, because just things will jump out at me when I'm looking at it. And try to prepare notes when you're the type of person who jumps around like I do, because I'll be looking at that chart that you showed. That's just one day, and you saw all the lines and all the things involved in there. You haven't even put the asteroids in there yet. So when you're looking at that, something will catch your eye over here, and then something way over here. So it's really hard to make notes and stay on task. I'm trying to work on getting better at that. But yeah, so that's just one day. Look at all those planets there, and look at all those lines. Those are all aspects. So you pick up the chart, and whatever speaks to you, whatever jumps out at you, that's what I go with when I'm doing readings, the things that jump out and catch my attention. And that's
Yeah.
why I get so excited about it, and it's hard to make notes. I'll get notes made, it's all laid out nicely, and I'll have this one thought that needs to go in the middle of all this, right? So yeah, I let Linda know today, hey, I'm having fun, but the notes are kind of, Linda talked me down from the ledge. So thank you, sister, for that.
Oh, please. That was nothing. You're fine.
Oh,
And it's
I
funny,
feel like a
whenever you
mad,
think you're on the ledge, you're not. I mean, maybe inside you feel that way, but you're fine. You're just fine. We're all getting through this together. And that's what Karen and Sharon's all about. And you know what? I know why we get along so well is we both have the same scribbled scrabble in our notebooks. This
yes, yes.
brains working
Yeah,
the same way.
I look like the mad scientist today. Yeah, my hair was all sticking up. Yeah, I threw the hat on before. Yeah, anyway. But yeah,
That's
so many
funny.
things just jump out at you. That's kind of why I get so excited about everything.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of new beginnings with things, you know. I just felt like I want to just take that energy and run with it, you know, wherever it's going. I want to share the joy that is that connection. You know, you can't know, they say a really great meal until you've had a really crappy one. I like to use that example a lot
Yes.
because it's like in life, you can't really know and experience the joy until you've been cut really, really deep and experience the opposite. Because how are you going to know what joy and bliss feels like if you're always in that state? That's supposedly one of the stories of creation, you know, and
Yes.
how this happened is one, I don't know which ancient story it is or which lineage of religion it might be, but it's still like, if you're always in eternity and experiencing eternal bliss and happiness, you don't know any of the experiences until you go through them. So you have to experience all that pain to want to come back to that unity with all the experience. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's that duality, you know, it's you have both higher and lower expressions. But I think that's how they hook us to come down here and do some of this stuff because we're up there. They probably only showed us the good for how many years, right? So we're up there going, that don't look too bad. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I think that's the hook, Linda. I really do.
Yeah, it's like on those movies when you see someone showing you a brochure of something and then they get there and it's absolutely not that.
Yes, yes, yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what happened there. But
Yeah, and then they forgot to tell us there was no return airplane. We're gonna have to find our own way home. We're on
yes,
an island. Oh, thanks.
yeah. Sorry about your luck, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? We're still here.
Yes.
And so is everybody else who's still watching us. Thank you for staying tuned in. Um, Tonight is a really special episode, but Bev, I know you're coming back, what, in 2 weeks? We're going to do another one because it's going on, right? Or did we say
Whoa,
1 week?
that is some
We said
weird.
the third, right?
There was some weird sound that just came out, Linda. I don't even know if anybody heard it, but
Hopefully not
me.
out of my mouth. Out of my
You were
mouth?
talking, and it
No.
was you were talking in some kind of strange. Yeah. Okay. Let me
Uh-oh.
gather my composure after that.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it was. I don't know. I'll have to watch the replay and just see what happened. It was
All
strange.
right, we're
But
42 minutes in. I'll have to go back and hear that.
42. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I planned on coming back. What did we set the date for? Did you mark that down? I think it was.
I think it was the third. It was in 2 weeks.
I think it
It
was
was
too
before
because
the
we're getting ready.
6th, right?
Yes. Yes.
Diane's confirming the strange sound. Oh, sorry, guys.
That's all right. It was okay. At least I'm not alone. I didn't hear it by myself.
Actually, I'm a side. I do have a side hustle, and I do beatboxing, and I throw my voice and make weird noises.
Okay. All right. Glad you shared that with us.
Just
Linda.
kidding. Just kidding.
Oh Lord. Yeah. No.
Whistle
I was gonna come
sound.
back.
Wait. Rachel's saying it's a whistle sound, and it's still there.
It was a whistle sound and like a balloon letting off air, like that's. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. I'm sorry.
I just don't want to spit my water out because then you'll get your whistle sound with the water. Get it? Aquarius.
Yes.
Pisces.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Well, at least we got a good laugh tonight. All right, let me try to get back on task here.
Yeah,
we're talking about coming back on the 6th because we got the Virgo full moon coming up, and people March is coming up, is off the charts. We've got Mercury going to 0 degrees of Pisces. We have the Virgo full moon. We got Saturn moving to 0 Pisces. Venus goes to 0 Taurus. Then we have the new moon in Aries and the equinox. And then we have Pluto moving into 0 degrees of Aquarius and Mars shifting into Cancer. So I'm telling you, this next month is really full. And I definitely wanted to go into some more depth on some of these topics. I touched a little bit tonight on the Pluto finishing up in Capricorn and Saturn there in Aquarius. But yeah, there's some more deep dives to take, and I really look forward to coming on again. And thank you, Linda, for letting me do so to share some of this stuff. Because it's pretty potent, is all I can say.
We need this. We need the road maps and the guidance, and like Spirit wouldn't have me doing ascension maps if somebody didn't need it. We need what you're offering, and I'm happy to be able to provide a space for you. It's great. You
Oh,
know,
I
you
sure
want to do the
appreciate
work
it.
and come on here and present that, like, you are always welcome on this channel. You know that.
Oh, thanks. Sure
Of
appreciate you,
course.
sis.
Of course. I appreciate you too. And all of you guys out there watching. I want to see, let me see, Bev, if you guys have any questions, ask. I'm going to come over. I know I didn't come over to the chat a lot this time, you guys. I was trying really hard to be a good multitasker, but you
Real,
know.
real quick, Linda, while you look at that, I did want to say, just as we go into this new moon, you know, the new moons are always about new beginnings, and be very careful what you try to manifest. Be sure that you are very intentional with it. You know where you want to go next, because it's a very powerful time of manifesting, because we've got Saturn going back to that degree point. So again, it's on March 20th, October 3rd, and December 5th. So going into this, you're beginning totally new. Make sure that you know what you resonate with, and know that you have support behind you with this manifestation too, to help it grow and evolve, because this is a long-term thing. Saturn won't be changing signs again for 30 years. So this is a 30-year beginning with Saturn.
Oh,
So yeah, taking
wow.
these things forward, just be very careful and manifest, because I mean, it's a very powerful manifestation period right now. I say
Okay.
clear
Also, wasn't
on
there a,
through.
is there a full moon on Monday, is it? Or when's the full moon? On the 20th?
The full moon. Let me get back to my sheet here.
Yeah, I think there was
We
something on
have
the
a
20th.
the 7th we have a Virgo full moon, and then on the 21st we have the new moon in Aries and the equinox.
No, I mean February 20th. Is that the full moon for February?
Yeah, to 20th. I'm sorry, Linda. I was looking at other dates here. Yeah, that's
No, that's
Monday,
okay,
Monday
but
morning.
that's okay. Isn't that when we want to, if we're going to
The
manifest something, we
manifestation.
got to be
Yes.
really, really careful what you ask for and be very specific, and get back to your ritual, write something down or do something like that, because it's like you said, Saturn is going to be assisting with the next moon phase in March, right around the equinox. And like, here you go, here it is. You know, so like as close to instant manifestation as you can get is whatever you order this month, you're going to get it next month. That kind of
And
thing.
don't shortchange yourself. Dream big.
Yeah.
Dream, make it big. You know what you want to do. You know what you want in the next chapter. You're going through those Pisces last things with Venus. You're cleaning that up. You're saying, I want to take this forward. So just be very intentional. Sit and think about it. Go inside and reflect. What is it that I want? Take that time for yourself and use this new moon for those manifestations, because it's a powerful time.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm going to come over to the comments real quick here because I skipped this one earlier. I didn't see it. You Bev is talking about tribes coming together, and I've made a trip to visit my tribe, and me and the kids and boyfriend are even thinking if this trip goes well, we should try to be closer. She misses her community.
Oh,
Oh, I
nice.
know how you feel, Jade. I know how you feel. There's the whistle sound they were talking about. Okay. Yes. So weird. Well, Bev, thank you for being on here. I want to ask you
Oh,
too if you have any final thoughts or any um, wrap ups or anything maybe you're looking forward to. I know we were going to take another break with comments, but I'm not really very good at multitasking this. I'm sorry. Well, yeah,
that's
we're thinking if we record our video in advance, that we could actually come, if we can't make it one Friday night or something, we could even try it as a premiere. And then if you guys have questions, we can just be interacting with you in the chat the whole time that we're broadcasting.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about that too. So yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah, I think it's good that we got this out tonight, because it seems like we had things fighting against us. So pretty much,
Yes.
I got out most of the things that I wanted to. Like I said, we'll have further discussions about all those lineups coming in March. But again, just know Monday's that new moon. Get those intentions set and just really go inside and listen. If you can get away this weekend, go find a little spot, just sit in peace and quiet.
Yeah. I
The
agree.
answers are all inside. Just go in and hear them.
That's excellent advice. I love being in nature and super consciousness and going within. And that's something that I will do, whether I'm, in an apartment building where I can't see the sky or whatever. I always try to find time to get out there and do that, because it's like medicine for me. And for you too, I'm sure. Going to be filming Mudra in Motion this year, Bev. I guess I needed another year of practice before, because I thought last year I was going to be filming it, and there was a lot of things like iPads breaking and stuff like that You know, when I actually set up on location, do you remember that? It fell down because
Yes,
I tripped on
yes,
the wire.
I
It
do.
was-
I do.
See, when you're a one woman show, these kind of things happen. So this year I am going to be filming it. I'm making that commitment again because it's a power tool for us to use with, you know, connecting to our spirit. We're a body, mind, spirit complex. We're a three-part Holy Trinity system with a physical body, a mind. The universe is mental. We're mental. It's a universal law. It's immutable. So it's mental and also your spiritual body. And you use the mental body to connect the spirit in the physical. And you become that Holy Trinity embodied. And that's your Holy Trinity. So I teach in Mudra in Motion this kind of connection and why your breath is important. And that actually is Breathing Your Way to Freedom is the very first episode for season 3 of Sacred Warrior Space podcast. So if you want to hear it,
Nice.
Breathing Your Way to Freedom, go on over to the Rumble channel. Link is in the description box. It was released at around 6 o'clock tonight, I believe. So the first episode should be out on that one.
Nice.
And yeah, and join us back again. Bev will be back in 2 weeks. So we'll do another episode of this. And if you guys have any questions, bring them. You know, let us know. Leave comments under the video and we'd like your feedback. Sorry for any connection issues.
Yeah, I'm just glad we were able to get it out tonight because I think a lot of people are feeling all this energy coming in, and yeah, we got some big things on tap. But I don't know if nobody else feels it but me, but I feel the positivity. It's like
Yes.
something just changed. I mean, I got up this morning. I've been feeling it getting better, but this morning it was like, I don't know, just like somebody had just lifted the shade up or something, you know. Oh wow,
Yeah.
sunlight. Yeah.
Yes. I had one other thing I wanted to say. We talked about earlier. We're going to talk about the Ohio spill.
Oh yes.
The trains. Okay, so here's a little tip. Like, you know, some people will be done. They'll be like, oh, astrology's done, whatever. They're not watching anymore. But you guys who are watching and are watching all the way to the end, you're going to get this little advanced teaching thing that my soul brought in. And it was because when you hear about things going on around the world, you know, your spirit will tap you if they want you to send any quantum healing, any help, any love, light, or whatever connection you have to sending energy. And a lot of times we pull back when it's not something that we're supposed to give to, right? Well, here I live in Pennsylvania, Bev's in Ohio. This is literally, we were talking about having a visit and doing campfire and different things. We were talking about this in like February. Here comes this wall of chemical warfare dividing our two states, like literally saying, not right now. But when I went to work on it, it was almost like it pushed me back. It was like this whole big yuck. And I feel in the quantum state, a lot of people that were trying to help with containing and different things were getting burned out really fast. Some light workers, even you there mentioned people projectile vomiting, different things. It's a very serious, multi-dimensional type of bioweapon. And so, and I say this with like really serious, as I can convey, as serious as possible. If you're going to do light work, my soul showed me how to best go at it and drop in those violet flame balls. So make your spheres of light, use your hand of God mudra, use the Holy Spirit and your breath to fill that with as much compacted violet flame as you can. And you're going to be dropping those balls, not detached. You're not going to be sending energy that can be traced back to you. It's like a hit and go. That way you're not collecting anything and there's nothing turning around and focusing on your light body or your energy body. So hit it as many times as you can after it's detached from your field, if that makes sense. If you're advanced workers and you do this kind of work, that I'm sure that registers. But I hope that helps. And don't forget to make sure that all your chakras are balanced, cleared, and fully whitewashed, light whitewashed before you come back fully in your body. All right. So I hope that helps. That's it.
Thanks, Linda. Everybody have a good evening, and I'm glad you got through this with us. It was a little rough there at first, but it's all good.
I hope that wasn't buffering there. I hope whoever needed to hear that got to hear it and it's clear.
Yes.
All right. Well, you guys, thanks for being here. We love you. We'll see you in 2 weeks and stick around for our little outro because I just made a new outro for us. I got to find it. It's down here somewhere, Bev. All right.
You'll find it.
I'll find it. I found it. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.